Hello, Sally here. I'm going to do some core exercises for you today. Pilates core, working all around here. We're going to do this laying down on our backs, so either on a mat or the carpet. Make sure you're warmed up, got a little bit of space. You can either lie flat, or if you prefer having your head slightly propped up, if it's more comfortable in your neck, get like a little cushion off your sofa, something like that, and you can place that under your head. Okay, laying down on your back. So we're going to have your legs hip width apart and your knees are bent. So lying down here with your shoulders then rolled into your mat and your arms are relaxed beside you. Then make sure you've tucked down your chin so that it's comfortable there and stretch slightly in the back of your neck. So your back should be in what we call a neutral spine, which is just the natural curve of your spine. So we're not pushing any weight through the feet or the arms. So from this position, I'm going to hold the first leg up here in what we call table position with a bent knee. So I'm just going to repeat this leg, tapping it down and up on the floor. So you're going to do that without moving your back. So you keep the same position through your back by just tightening your abs a bit and pulling your belly button down towards the mat. And that'll stop you tilting your pelvis, tilting side to side and moving any of your back. So it's all going to come from this hip and this leg stays at right angles. So the knee is always the same and you'll feel it then building up in your hip and the front of your thigh. Keep your arms relaxed, keep your jaw relaxed, and we're going to change legs. So put that one back on the floor and change to your second leg, which then does the same thing. So just gently, we don't need to tap hard, we don't need to tap down and push through the floor. It's just a light tap with your foot, keeping that strength there through the abs. So we're starting to work your core and that's giving the back all the support that it needs. So just breathe normally, make sure your jaw is relaxed and you're not gritting your teeth. And then all that work's coming from the hip, as you can feel it building up there because you repeat the same leg each time. So do two more with this leg and then that one can go back down on the floor. Okay, so for the next one we can make that a little bit harder, or you can repeat it like that and just do your first leg on its own. But if you want to make it harder, I'm going to have both legs up and alternate the legs. So we'll need a little bit more strength in the abs. Make sure your back starts here in the mat. So bring your knees in a little bit if you need to. And let's add a breathing pattern as well if you're making it harder. So breathe in first and then you breathe out as you tap down. You breathe in as your knee comes back up. So alternate the legs and keep those abs. You need more strength here now to stop your back coming off the mat. So keep your arms relaxed. It can be tempting to hold your mat. Just relax your arms there on the floor. Relax your jaw. Or if that's too difficult, just do the first leg with the other one still on the floor. So alternating, going slowly. If you are doing one leg, swap over now and do the second half with the other leg. Otherwise, keep alternating legs, but I'm only ever moving one leg at a time. So as you tap down, you've got to make sure there's no lifting here in your back. So that's where we build up that strength in the core by pulling down there towards your mat. So a light little tap with each foot, keeping your head the same, neck the same, back the same, and relaxing your jaw. I'm going to go for two more. And when you've done those two, put your feet down carefully on the floor and just have a little rest. So we're going to do the same move, but with a bit of an angle. So I'm going to start with the first leg again. I'll start with the leg in the same position. We're going to come across very slightly and tap your heel on top of the other foot and then bring the knee back up to where it was. So it's not very far across, it's just a little bit off centre because the knees and feet weren't very far apart to begin with. So I'm not going very wide across there, literally just tapping the other foot, but that's all coming from this hip. I'm not tilting the back, I'm not leaning it or lifting it. So again, we need the strength there in the abs and you just tap lightly on top of the other foot. Do one more with this leg. And then that one can go back on the floor. So you can see your feet aren't very far apart to begin with. So when this one comes across, the second leg, we tap your heel on. It isn't that far over, but it just works all these muscles here around this hip joint a little bit different. So tap in lightly, and it's probably your heel that will tap on top of the foot, but it doesn't matter if it's a different part of your foot that does the tap. It just depends what position you've got your foot in, really. And always bring your knee back parallel. So it twists over slightly, but then it comes back to where it started. Keep that strength in the abs, keep breathing, and feel your hip working a little bit more here as you bring that leg slightly across. Go for one more. And then you can place that foot on the floor. So same as the last exercise, you can either repeat it like that, doing the legs completely separate, or you can have them both up. If you've got both up, just get your back to the mat. Now we haven't got a foot to tap on, so we're going to just tap where the other foot was. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, just tapping slightly across, breathing in as your knee comes back up. So you breathe out each time you tap down. That's when you need to really get that strength in the abs to stop your back from tilting. Now don't try and be too adventurous and tap too far across, it's just where the other foot was. So you're tapping underneath the foot that's up, where it was when it was on the floor, which isn't very wide. So we keep everything else the same. If you're doing all that with one leg, change now and do the second half with your second leg. Otherwise we keep switching legs, and I'm finding I'm tapping here with the ball of my foot this time instead of my heel, but again it doesn't matter which part of your foot actually touches the floor, but it is just a light tap, only one leg moving at a time, feeling that a bit more in your hips. So do 2 more, and when you're done you can bring your feet carefully back down to the floor and just relax for a second. Okay, I'm going back to the first leg, so we're going to hold that again, table position. This time all you're going to do is straighten and bend at the knee. So I'm not moving the thigh, I'm not pressing any weight through the other leg, because that's going to cause your back to move and tilt. So you keep your back in neutral, and we just go slowly, and you're going to feel this in the hamstring here in the back of this leg. And I've got the foot relaxed, you don't need to do anything special with your foot, and then just stretch that leg up. So don't rush, get right to the top so you really feel that last little bit of the stretch each time. Keeping everything else nice and relaxed, including your arms, and do 1 more. Put that one down. Let's change legs. So from here, table position, and then straightening up and down. So the foot on the floor is nice and relaxed, your arms are relaxed, your jaw is relaxed. Have a little bit of tension still in your abs. You're going to feel the front of your thigh, which is holding the leg up and extending it, and then you get that big stretch through your hamstring each time, and you just go up as far as you can, and you push your knee back and go as straight as your leg will allow. Keeping the other foot light, and just feeling all the work going on in this one leg. 2 more. And then that one goes on the floor. So we can do that one with both legs up. Again, you can do your single leg if you prefer and keep one on the floor, but if you're doing both, get your back to be in the mat here. So you might want to bring your knees just in a little bit so you can feel your back on the floor. And then if you're doing them both, put them together, because they'll steady each other a bit better if they're actually touching, and then they'll move better as one. So you can do the 2 there, or a single again with one on the floor. Again, don't rush. Feel it through the back of your thigh when your feet go up in the air, and just stretch right up, keeping those abs tight. We need them a bit more now if you've got both legs up, just so you can support the legs while they're off the floor. Change legs if you're doing one leg, otherwise go nice and slow with the 2. So think about your position, think about your speed, and just watch those feet as they go up. So keep your arms relaxed, keep your jaw relaxed, and really feel it right through here in the back of your thighs. Let's do 2 more of those, just keeping the legs together if you're doing them both, and then carefully bring your feet to the floor. So we're going to do that one with that angle at the hip as well. So I'm going back to the first leg, put your foot on the other knee, and then turn this knee out a little bit from the hip. So I haven't moved the lower leg, that's still on the floor. Foot resting lightly. I'm going to put the arms out a bit wider as well to help keep your back steady. So make sure you're not twisted at all and lean into that side, and then you can kick that foot out to the top corner and bend and tap the knee. So I don't move the thigh, that stays turned out at the hip with the knee turned out to the corner the whole time, and then you kick out and go as straight as your knee will allow out to that corner. So you've got to make sure you're not leaning over that way with the rest of your body. That stays steady, and wide arms will help you to keep that position. Okay, I'm going to change legs. So bring that one back. So the foot's on the knee, and then you turn that top knee out without moving the lower leg. And then you can kick out to the top corner. Keep your shoulders down, keep your lower back down. So we don't want this opposite hip tilting over that way. That's got to stay down there and aim up to the ceiling. So we've just turned out this one leg here at the hip. You're going to feel it there, you'll feel it a bit more in your knee. It stretches a bit more in the back of the thigh as well. just kicking your foot out at an angle and then bending as you tap it on the other knee. 2 more. And let's bring that one back in. So same as all the other moves, let's try that if you want to now with both legs, or you can repeat a single again. If you're doing both, I'm going to start with them both up. The feet are together, but push the knees apart. So I've got both knees turned out, and then kick out to the corners. You'll need that extra strength in your abs to enable you to have both feet off the floor. So make sure you're pulling down there. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're relaxing your jaw, or do the single leg again with the foot on the opposite knee. So just going as straight as your knees and thighs will allow you. Change legs now. If you're doing that with one leg, other foot on the opposite knee. Otherwise with both, just keep breathing and those nice strong abs as you really work your core here as well as your legs. Got exercises there going on. Lots of things happening in the legs as well as the abs. Let's do 2 more. And then when you've finished, knees back and feet down carefully on the floor. Well done. From there, just bring your arms in, give yourself a little push up, and we're going to do a couple of stretches for your abs in a seated position. So you can either sit cross-legged or you can have your legs out in front. But just take a moment and sit up nice and tall, and then bringing your arms up and down at the same time. So just lifting them above your head and back down, just keeping them nice and light. Now hold them at the top, so you're going to hold your hands together. When you stretch them up, you're going to feel that stretching right through your abs where you've just worked as you reach up and then bring them down. Let's move them up and down a couple more times, doing both arms together, just lifting them up and down, and then leave them up above your head once more and just reach up. And while you're reaching, lean over to one side and then lean over to the other side. Just a little bit, don't lose your balance. Come back again to the first side, feel it on the opposite side of your waist, and then change sides and finish up in the middle. Big reach up and then down you come. Give your shoulders a roll round and you're all finished. Well done, excellent work. See you again.